is dead. He seems to be
Why don't you like her, Chrissy? Why don't you like Candace Owens? What's your beef with her?
taking multiple stages and demanding an allegiance to Erica Kirk. In fact, it almost seems like he's demanding that nobody inquire further about Erica Kirk. It's odd because Ben had no allegiance to Charlie Kirk when he was alive. So, what is it about Charlie's widow in particular that is inspiring his very public nervous breakdown? Personally, I think he knows something about her. That is what I am sensing, that he knows something about Erica Kirk. And every time he speaks, I grow more certain that Israel might be involved with 910. So let's keep investigating. Welcome back to Candace.
Let's see, what is Ben Shapiro doing now?
The town is engulfed in flames.
Oh, fuck you, ads.
Let me see you bleed!
You know, Ben Shapiro just keeps calling my name out on stage. He's calling for me, and I'd like to show up for him today. Okay, last night he hit the stage at Turning Point USA's AmFest the other night.
Now, I'll agree with you on that. Kanye's a little whack. He's not quite all there, 100%. Yeah, Kanye's whacked.
And I'd like, first and foremost, just to let you all know, some people noticed that he wasn't on the AmFest list for years, and all of a sudden he's back on the speaker list beginning in 2024. I want to let you know how that actually happened. So the story goes, obviously, that in 2024, Ben fired me in March. Well, he would say management fired me.
I remember that.
But firing me wasn't enough. He wanted to make sure my reputation and livelihood was also destroyed. Of course, what happened thereafter is Charlie Kirk instantly came out and supported me because we were like brother and sister, always supporting
Oh, Charlie Kirk supported her. I didn't realize that. I did not know that.
each other publicly. And then I showed you guys a few episodes ago that we found out as I was going to speak in Dallas at their YWLS convention that Ben had sent an intern who was going to ask me a question while I was in stage, but we sort of rumbled this plan. And I called Ben out on stage. Ben did not like that I called him out on stage. So he began working behind the scenes to have Jewish donors start threatening Charlie to make sure that I wasn't invited to speak at year end because I was an anti-Semite. This is what Charlie told me. And instead, he wanted to be invited.
I didn't know her and Charlie Kirk were close like that. I had no idea. I had no fucking idea. I didn't even think her and Charlie had any. I mean, I know they knew who each other was, but I didn't realize they were talking back and forth like that. Watch Nuxanor on her. Okay.
So he's just going to purchase a friendship, right? So he comes at Turning Point USA, and this is what was divulged to me from Andrew Colvett at the time, willing to spend an offensive amount of money to be a part of AmFest. Like I said, that was told to me by Andrew Colvett directly because he wanted to say, look, like, obviously, you know, we are totally Charlie.
You know, I don't know who that is, but I've seen that guy several times. His face looks so familiar.
He's 100% on your side. This is like an offensive ad spend. I was like, take his money. I could care less, obviously. And I knew that he was working with.
Like, I don't know if he's a congressman or if he's, you know, if he's, I don't know, maybe a movie actor. I have no idea, but I recognize it.
Barry
Dude.
Weiss to call and put an article out saying that the donors, the people on the board of TPUSA want Candace gone. All of this petty behind the scenes behavior because I called him out on stage. Okay. So quite literally, this is the definition of buying friends and influence and fame. Now, in case you're listening and thinking, is Ben Shapiro actually capable of that level of pettiness? I'm going to tell you a story about Thomas Sowell. Yes, Dr.
Well, I've always thought that Ben Shapiro was kind of a piece of shit, honestly. Some of the shit he says is so contradicting. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't like Ben Shapiro. I don't like the way he acts. There's just something really, really fucking slimy about him. I don't know why. He's a douche. He pushed for taking the vaccine. Yeah, fuck the vaccine. You know, they lied to us about that shit to begin with anyways. when they said, "Oh, well, if you take the vaccine, you won't catch COVID." Oh, really? Well, people were taking the vaccine and still getting COVID. I've had COVID 4 times now. So that was a lie.
Dr. Thomas Sowell of Stanford. The story begins in 2023, shortly after October 7th. Ben was sort of having another one of his open nervous breakdowns, and his audience just went kaput. People just stopped watching his podcast because he was screaming at Americans that we needed to prioritize Israel, and people just didn't feel that way. Okay, it's not our country. I'm sorry that happened to you, but why do Americans need to be screamed at about what's happening in the Middle East? Anyways,
Look, I mean, I guess if you're a Christian and you want to back Israel, I get it. But I mean, in the grand scheme of things, why are we even worried about it? Like, it's not happening in our neck of the woods. Why we shouldn't even have any business being over there or even worrying about that shit. I don't know. I just think we got more crazy shit here at home we need to deal with.
throughout this time, Brian Mast was wearing an IDF uniform in Congress, and he basically said that there's no such thing as an innocent Palestinian life. And when I saw this, as shared by Yashar Ali on X, I responded and I said that genocide.
And two, here's the thing. Like, I don't even know how you can really pick sides in that battle anyways. Like, Israel was minding their own fucking business. Hamas came in, killed like 2,000 people. Of course they retaliated. And maybe they went overboard. And yeah, I'm sure innocent Palestinians died as well. But I don't know who you can fault, because if that was America and we got attacked like that, don't you think we would have responded? And to think that we're somehow above the moral high ground, because in the wars that we've been in for the past 20 years, we've killed innocent civilians, I'm sure, but that don't fucking matter. So I don't know, man. I mean, did Israel need to respond? I think they did. If they didn't, it would could have looked bad, but maybe they went a little overboard. At the end of the day, I don't know.
Language, no matter who shares it, is always wrong. Genocide is always wrong, is what I tweeted, and this caused an emotional breakdown.
Yeah, the killing of anybody is, should be looked down on. I mean, just stop the war, regardless of who's right or wrong. Kind of like us, man. We went into the Afghanistan war, and when we've bailed out of that Afghanistan war, and we can't even really say that we won that war. I feel bad for the civilians. The government is to blame. Yeah, the government's to blame 100%. But I just try to put ourselves in that same scenario. If that was us, and fucking, let's just say that Hamas came over here and, you know, blew up a few or killed a few of our people. You don't think we'd be over there blowing shit up? I could almost guarantee you we would.
Amongst people who support Israel. I didn't think that was a controversial statement. I thought that was sort of what we all believed in. Genocide is always wrong. Anyways, for Ben, he then had some private event, probably at another Jewish donor's house.
If that was us, no one would help us out. Hate to say it. Yeah, I mean, nobody would help us out, but two, for some reason, we like to be in everybody else's business, man. Like, nobody, I don't know, man. I feel like we're in people's business just too much. Like the Ukraine and Russia war. Why are we sending money to Ukraine knowing that Ukraine is not going to win that war, and we knew they weren't going to win that war, but why are we sending them money to keep it like just kind of treading along? Like, we're just wasting money. We could use all that money to get some of the fucking homeless people off the street. Yeah, let's take care of our people first. Why are we if all of our people were taken care of and we didn't have homeless out on the street, that would be different. Then I would say, okay, we got extra funds. Let's help out Ukraine. Let's help out Israel or whoever. But that's not the case.
House, and somebody caught him standing on a table insulting me over my genocide is always wrong tweet. Take a listen to what Ben had to say.
The question was about Candace Owens. I think her behavior during this has been disgraceful. Without a doubt. I think it's been I can't, what was that? Yeah, I mean, she still works for my company.
I don't know what it is about him, but like just when I see him, just the way he acts and the way he looks, he just seems like he feels like he's superior to everybody. I don't know why. He just kind of gives off that vibe to me.
Yeah, I think she's been absolutely disgraceful. I think that her faux sophistication on these particular issues has been ridiculous. It's not faux sophistication, it's ridiculous. Everybody can see the moves that she's making and the things that she's saying, and I find them disreputable.
Disreputable, disgraceful. She works at my company. You can imagine that the internet went crazy because they wanted me to respond to him. I can't believe this. They work together, they're colleagues. Somehow this gets leaked. And I want to mention, because it's very relevant, that was on.
Oh, Matt Walsh, you talking about Nagy Beard? I call him Nagy Beard. Yeah, he's Nagy Beard.
The morning of November 14th. I was 6 days away from giving birth. I was very heavily pregnant. Anyways, I wake up to this, and shockingly, nobody from the Daily Wire steps in to manage the situation. And as you can imagine, virtually every journalist, every person with a media platform was contacting me to comment, to respond to me being insulted by someone.
Well, of course.
I'm about to give birth. I'm being insulted, and they're not getting.
Well, of course. I mean, they're like, why are you being insulted by your employer? In public, no less.
Anything from a Daily Wire.
See, and I think that was kind of shit of Ben Shapiro. You know, whether you like Candace or not, man, if you got a beef with somebody, especially if you're both public figures, like just settle that shit behind closed doors, man. Why you got to bring it out in public?
So I am obviously frustrated. You should also tell you, I had no PR at this time. My PR was the internal PR at the Daily Wire. And it was very clear that their focus was on protecting Ben, even though he was the one who insulted me publicly, because I said that genocide is always wrong. That is the genesis of that statement. That's all I said. Obviously, I wanted to respond angrily to the press. I wanted to hit back at Ben. And I guess you could sort of say my perspective was an eye for an eye. But my husband, who is a better person than me, instructed me that morning to instead take a deep breath, relax, okay? Don't think about what you're feeling in the moment. Think about how you're going to feel in the future. And he instructed me to instead read the Bible, the Sermon on the Mount. And I read through it, and he reminds me that everybody who wants to comment, they don't care about me either, right? They're selling headlines, they want the clicks, they want the drama, and I'm going to feed into that for.
Well, that's everything, man. Streaming, fucking YouTube, TikTok. Everybody's just trying to get their like 15 minutes of fame. Everybody's wanting clicks. Everybody's wanting money.
What reason? For what reason, actually, am I going to give a comment and say something about Ben Shapiro? Blessed are the peacemakers, right? Don't buy into this click culture. And so I tweeted that actually my husband was right. I called for peace. I tweeted, blessed are the peacemakers. And I made the mistake, I guess it was a mistake, that after I tweeted, blessed are the peacemakers, and I'm thinking that I'm going to be commended when I get back to work. Like, wow, you really took the high road. I ended this biblical passage with Christ is king. Christ is the king. He's the only thing that matters. Obviously, Christ is king. Now, it was just Tucker Carlson's luck that I had.
Well, that would be enough to piss some people off for sure. Just that simple statement would piss a lot of people off.
Had been slated to come on his news show the very next day. He had booked me 6 weeks earlier. I got approval from Daily Wire. He booked me for November 15th. So suddenly Ben gets on this table. He insults me. It's trending all over Twitter. And Tucker Carlson is going to be the first person to capture my reaction to it. And when it came time, I kept up with the peacemaker. I made the decision to just take the high road. I said, I don't want that to negatively impact how people perceive the Daily Wire. There are great people there. I mean, I wouldn't be proud on that, but I'm not taking the bait here.
Honestly, I don't even know how the Daily Wire is still in business, honestly. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Ben Shapiro. Not really the biggest fan of Matt Walsh, Nagy Beard. I'm not really. I don't know, man. I don't get it. I don't get it.
I didn't say anything snipey back at Ben because I didn't want to feed the mob. That was my honest perspective. My husband was just right. And also, we're talking about a work colleague, right?
Now, am I saying that Candace Owens is an angel either? Not really. I mean, she's done some shit too, I'm sure. But still, you know, why they just couldn't keep this shit public? Makes no sense to me. Or, I mean, not public, private.
Somehow, me taking the high road made him angrier. So here's what he did. Elsewhere in my interview with Tucker, he asks me who I look up to, who I like. And I told Tucker the truth that it was my dream to meet Thomas Sowell. That when I first got into politics, I read a ton of Thomas Sowell books, and I had tried many times to meet him. And obviously he's aging, but I really looked up to Dr. Thomas Sowell. And here's that clip with me and Tucker.
Okay.
Who do you listen to when you're trying to figure out? I mean, some of the stuff comes at you so fast, and you're talking almost every day or writing almost every day. Who do you read or listen to try to make sense or bounce ideas off of?
You know,
Who do you
I
trust?
have been obsessed with Thomas Sowell, and everybody knows that. I am pretty much a Thomas Sowell groupie. Everything he writes, I read, and it is because he was a
Oh,
part of my
shit.
awakening story into politics
Shit, she pregnant there. Boy, her belly's sticking way out.
and made me focus on the economics, which is to say, block out the noise and pay attention to the
Yes.
economics, go backwards in history to understand where we are. When has this worked? Oh, it's never worked. So they're just telling you that it's going to work into the future, and there's no evidence to support that.
So when Ben saw that, he decided, Thomas Sowell, hey, that's your dream. You love Thomas Sowell. He thought that was an opportunity to get even with me for taking the high road after he insulted me on stage.
You know, since that's the thing now for everybody to try to get clicks and shit, maybe what I need to do is go on YouTube and make a video and put the title as like Candace Owens used to be Michael Jackson. I think that'd get some clicks and some views.
Because he's deeply jealous of Tucker Carlson for reasons that I cannot quite understand. Ben had his team reach out and schedule an interview with Thomas Sowell, which they paid for an offensive amount of money, I presume, to effectively purchase a black man who has no idea what's going on. He's very old, he's in his 90s, to hurt my feelings, okay? Interview with Tucker is on the 15th. I think it premieres on the 16th.
Who the fuck is this dude? On the right there with the glasses. Who the hell is that guy? Is that Ben's father? That might be Ben's dad. I see some similarities there.
And Ben gets Thomas Sowell, who he doesn't care about. I'm working at the Daily Wire at this moment, and I'm about to give birth in 3 days. But this was supposed to be like an FU Candace for taking the high road and saying that genocide is always wrong.
Oh, no, you can't tell me that Michael Jackson was playing with kids. No, man, he had that Ferris wheel and all that amusement park shit at his house for him, man. No, Michael Jackson he wasn't a pedophile. No fucking way. How could that be true?
That is what I mean when I say he is an incredibly petty man. Okay. Now we know how this ends. I then am fired not for what I said, but for what they assumed
Yeah, now we know why he was grabbing his nuts all the time.
that I meant, and for trolls that I didn't respond to. And I want to be clear, you can fire whoever you want. You really can if you're a business owner. It's just that this was atypical in the fashion that it was done, right? It wasn't done in the way where you just say, okay, get out of here, it's not working. Instead, what they decided to do was humiliate me in front of all of the other employees by, rather than having a conversation, sort of dramatically having me exit.
Yeah, but isn't that like the big thing now anyways? Like most companies, like nobody can seem to get fired quietly. Like for some reason, when you get fired, even if you're not like a famous person, like everybody in the whole freaking organization knows about it. They know why you was fired. Sometimes they know before you even know. You'll have some slimy coworkers, man, be working with you for like a week or two, and they already know you're going to get fired and not even have the decency to warn you. Free my Willie, who is J-Moan. Free my Free my Willie, who's J-Moan.
It after doing my show, not knowing that I was going to be fired. And then they had put together a stage in my studio and put up
Maybe what he meant to say was Jamal.
clips of, put together basically a whole package, like almost like a high school play, and conducted what I honestly, when I look back, because it recently leaked what happened at this quote unquote town hall, this is a slave hanging. This is a slave hanging, right? Gather around, everybody else is a slave. And let me tell you how this one messed up. Gather around and watch us whip this person. This is literally how I feel when
That's how all companies act, though, anymore. You know, is most of the companies, they try to make an example out of other employees if they're going to fire them. And they try to make sure that everybody knows why you're getting fired and that you're getting fired. Almost like the companies, that's like their way of like intimidating the rest of the employees. You know, like, hey, don't fuck with us. Just do what we tell you to do, or you could be that person. MJ would always say Jamone, and he sang for the movie Free Willy. Oh shit, I forgot about that. Yeah, you did,
I
didn't
watch
you?
this, okay? And you'll know what not to do next. And here is a video of the then CEO, Jeremy Boring, which somehow Steven Crowder got a hold of this week or last week or whatever. This is just a portion of it. You should watch the entire thing because it really is something. And ask yourself in your memory, do you ever recall anybody ever being fired where 300 employees, which Ben joined electronically, he was up on the screen too, and just enjoyed watching me be humiliated, where 300 employees are invited down.
I don't know if that's unique to her. I really don't. Because like I said, most of these companies, when they fire people, most of the people know, like the company seems to make sure that everybody knows who's getting fired and why. Maybe it's not quite as public as hers was, but I don't think this is unique to just her.
And shown a production of what this person did wrong. Okay, well, let's watch a little bit of this video.
Candace made no statement at all in the days after Hamas terrorists raped, murdered, and tortured over 1,000 Israeli civilians, mostly Jews, some Americans. And then they took hundreds more hostage. But then on October 28th
I thought for a second that was Nagy Beard.
of 2023, while anti-Israel protests were raging in London, where Candace, I believe, was at the time, she reposted a video of the protests on X, commenting, quote, "Interesting thing happening here. People are not accepting the media narrative about what's happening in the Middle East, despite the insistent rhetoric from government officials." On November 3rd, she posted, quote, "No government anywhere has a right to commit a genocide, ever. There is no justification for a genocide. I can't believe this even needs to be said or is even considered the least bit controversial to state." There was only one country on earth being accused of genocide at the time. Anti-Semites on X took to it immediately. They cheered at what they rightly or wrongly interpreted as Candace smearing Israel. And Candace didn't rebuff their interpretation. But when they
I don't know. What do you guys think? Who do y'all think was in the wrong? If you had to pick a side, would you pick Israel or Palestine? If you had to pick a side. I know this is going to be controversial. So Palestine, Israel, Palestine. Okay. I don't know, man. I think I'm with y'all might fucking hate me for this. If I had to pick a side, I'd probably be with Israel. You know, they didn't instigate it. They were attacked first. And I think if that was any other country, they would have responded. You know, and I think if that was us, we probably would have killed innocent civilians too, honestly. That's just my opinion. Hamas should not have hit first. Yeah, that's kind of what I say. You know, it wasn't like Israel went looking for the fight. You know, the fight chose them.
Rubin came to the exact same conclusion as the anti-Semites, only instead of cheering for Candace, found it vile and rebuked her, Candace quickly attacked, saying, quote, "What's amazing about this is that I didn't name any country in this tweet. I simply stated that genocide is wrong always. This is not a controversial stance. interesting how you interpreted it. And then followed up with, quote, in short, if the blanket statement that genocide is wrong upsets you in any way, then you need to check yourself. I said exactly what I meant, and I won't be backing down or apologizing or further clarifying this statement. Within 24.
Now, you know, whether she's wrong or right, I am down with that statement 100%, man. Like I'm one of those people, like if I don't care if like my mother or my grandmother were wrong about something, I'm gonna back them 100% whether they're wrong or not. And we'll worry about the consequences later. Even if they're wrong, if they say, "Hey, this is X," I'm gonna back them 100%. We'll deal with the aftermath afterwards. So I can kind of respect that, man. I like somebody that sticks to whatever they say, they stick by it, whether it's right or wrong, man.
4 hours, Candace liked a post calling Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu a war criminal. Now let's be clear. You're free to disagree with Israel's conduct, and you're free to oppose the Netanyahu government. But the idea that Israel is committing genocide or that Netanyahu is a war criminal is just factually baseless. Unfortunately,
Yeah, but come on. I mean, that's kind of hypocritical. Like, haven't we committed genocide? Like, we're not free from genocide. Look, if we want to go back in history, even though I guess history really doesn't matter to some people, hell, we wiped out a shit ton of Japanese when we dropped the nuclear bomb. You know, in the Afghanistan war, the last 20 years, we've killed probably women and children, innocent people. So to sit here and think that we're like standing on some kind of moral high ground, that somehow we're better than Israel, I don't know about that.
Candace routinely makes insinuations about Jews that both lovers of anti-Semitism and haters of anti-Semitism both agree is anti-Semitic. And in almost every one of these instances, Candace says nothing to the anti-Semites who cheer her and only pushes back against those who disapprove of her comments. On February 28th of this year, Candace, just asking questions, posted, quote, time to look into the history and profiteering of pornography.
Oh yeah, 100%. And Andrew Tate, he said that that's why he turned Muslim, because he said when you go to a Muslim country, like they don't mock God, they actually stand behind their religion. Like over here, they mock Christianity. If you were to like, you could go to church with a pride flag and nobody would say anything, nobody would question it. But you do that over in a Muslim country, you walk in with a pride flag or wearing a pride shirt, man, they'd kill your ass in a microsecond. They don't put up with that shit over there.
Her replies were immediately flooded with anti-Semites cheering her for the question and providing the answer that
All of a sudden, them dudes that act like chicks would turn into dudes real quick.
they interpreted her to mean, the Jews. Once again, Candace did nothing to disabuse the anti-Semites of their assumption. But when Anthony Coach came to the exact same conclusion, Candace pushed back, saying, quote, this is utterly insane. I tweeted that porn is harming men in our society, and this person has interpreted that as an attack on Jews. This is an example of clinical insanity. There is.
How do we go from porn to Jews? Porn is an attack on Jews. How the fuck does that work?
No other explanation.
I stand by all of those tweets. Pornography is harming men. We should look into who profits off of pornography. Genocide is always wrong, no matter which country calls for it, whatever. What was controversial about anything that I say? Now, I'm again wanting you to, these are my crimes. Just imagine 300 people being brought and said, like, she said this, and this is what we know. And then he goes into a diatribe about the real meaning of Christ is King, and he shows videos of Nick Fuentes, which had nothing to do with me. I had never even spoken. I think only one time I'd spoken ever to Nick Fuentes.
What if we find out that Ben Shapiro is the Antichrist? Wouldn't that be fucking crazy? He turns out to be the Antichrist. I think if that ever comes in our lifetime, I think whoever it is, we're going to be super shocked. It's probably somebody that we've known forever.
And it was pertaining to Kanye. Yeah, that was it. But I'm showing you this because it's important for you to understand that this has never stopped. I want you to imagine if you view yourself to be a slave owner and that slave not only survives like this public whipping, but that escapes and becomes successful. That's pretty much my relationship with Ben Shapiro since he's fired me, because they have not stopped. They have not stopped. I am talking about people working behind the scenes to call advertisers, attempting to bankrupt me in courts, sending undercover interns to stalk me. He has issued thus far 3 court proceedings, okay,
Damn.
for every solitary petty infraction against things that I.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that kind of, whether you like her or not, isn't that kind of overboard? Like, why the fuck you fired her? Just let it go. Why you gotta try to bankrupt them and keep coming like months, years after? That seems kind of fucked up.
Say he's worked with Barry Weiss behind the scenes to have articles written about me. It is non-stop. I refer to this, just to be clear, as legal abuse. It's legal abuse. And I have put up with a lot of it. I have put up with the pettiness of even suing me because I interviewed
But see, that's what they
a
do.
USS Liberty survivor.
But see, that's what they do though. Is first of all, they'll try to intimidate you. If they can't intimidate you, then they'll try to bankrupt you by making you go through legal proceedings, having to hire lawyers. And then if they can't do that, then they try to shoot you dead.
Who mentioned your name as you pretend that you care about free speech and debate. I've put up with a lot of it, but today I draw the line. I draw the line with this miserable imp when it comes to Charlie Kirk, okay? Don't try me on this, but you keep trying me on this. You are an imposter, Ben. You're an imposter. You pay to pretend that you're friends, that you
Yeah, tell him, bitch. Tell him. Say, Ben Shapiro, you're a piece of shit. Tell him about it.
have a right to be on that stage because you get donors to pressure people, because you know Jewish people who can threaten to take money, or you say, I'm going to do an advertising spend. Here's $1 million. I'm sorry, you're dead. The entire world knows that you are an imposter. I mean, you're so much of a fraud that essentially what you do is you have people send
Hey, Ben Shapiro is fraud maxing. Is he fraud maxing?
around clips to grown men to cheer you on, to pretend like the audiences love you. You staff audiences with people that work for YAF who are told to explode into cheers when you hit the stage because you don't have the confidence anymore to go out into the world because you know people see you for what you are. And so it
No, maybe to be in his defense, because like Charlie Kirk went, he used to go to the college campuses. Well, so did Ben Shapiro. But maybe since what happened to Charlie Kirk, I don't think I'd be on college campuses speaking either. I do not think so. I'd be like, fuck that.
exactly what he did yesterday. We can now listen to what this imposter said as he hit the stage. Charlie Kirk's organization, the one that he built for debate, if you have a disagreement, and he instructs people here in this speech to go after me and Tucker Carlson, right? That's what he's going to do. He wants us.
Dang, he wants. How did Tucker get into this? What is Ben Shapiro's issue with Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens now? How did Tucker end up in this situation?
Deplatformed. So he's going to attack me, he's going to attack Tucker Carlson, and he's going to attack Megyn Kelly because she's at the beginning of what these people have put me and.
Okay, Megyn Kelly is okay, but last time I seen her, she looks like she needs to fucking eat. Like, she looks like she's starving. She looks like she ain't ate in a while. She needs to put some weight on, man. She looks like bones.
Tucker and Charlie Kirk through. Take a listen to a portion of what Ben had to say.
So, if Candace Owens decides to spend every day since the murder of Charlie Kirk casting aspersions at TPUSA and the people who work here, who worked with Charlie every single day, his best friends, to cast aspersions at Mikey McCoy and Andrew Colvin and Blake Neff and Tyler Boyer, and yes, at Erica Kirk, and to imply or outright claim complicity in a cover-up over Charlie's murder, to spew absolutely baseless trash implicating everyone from French intelligence to Mossad to members of TPUSA in Charlie's murder or a cover-up in that murder, then we, as people with a microphone, have a moral obligation to call that out by name. So no.
You know, I'm beginning to think maybe he's got like a vendetta against her because maybe she wouldn't get under the desk or get on her knees for him. It kind of seems that way. The fuck is his problem?
Tucker Carlson, it is not an excuse to go silent on Candace's targeting of TPUSA.
And he never looks like he's happy. Like, ever. He always looks like he's just pissed off at the world. Even when he's talking on his own show, he just looks like he's mad.
Or to mirror her bullshit lines of questioning because you love Candace personally.
Oh, come on, bullshit. Oh, he's cussing. That's not very Christian of you. That's not very Jewish of you, Ben. Come on, man. The fuck out of here.
The same holds true of Megyn Kelly, a person I consider a friend, characterizing Candace as a young mother and thus shying away from condemning her actions or fibbing about them. That is a non-starter. When Candace Owens says, "I don't know, but I know," that is retarded. And we are all more retarded.
I don't know, but I know. I don't think that's... well, I don't know. You know, I bet you if they ever release the names for the Epstein Island, I wouldn't be surprised if Ben Shapiro's on there. I really wouldn't. He kind of seems like that kind of dude.
For having heard it.
Well, Ben, when it comes to you and having worked with you, I just know the tactics that you use to feign popularity in the public. I just know the amount of money that you are willing to spend on advertising to inflate your numbers to make people think that you're popular. So, yeah, I don't have to.
Oh, she's like, you're spending money on advertising to make yourself seem like you're popular. You're not popular. Oh, tell him about it. She's going for the throat.
Say we don't know when it comes to you. You are such a joke of a little man. Your jealousy against Tucker.
Yeah, he's such a joke of a little man. Yeah.
Your ability to believe that you can keep manipulating the markets. You know those kids booed you on that stage. The amount of messages I got from Turning Point USA people saying, what is happening? Why is he on this stage? Standing against everything that Charlie believed in.
You know, she forgot the one thing there that most women go to. She forgot to say he's got a little wiener. Little man, little wiener.
You're doing. You're standing against everything that Charlie believed in because you weren't his friend. He didn't like you for that very reason. I look at you and I just think you are such a little worm. I could see you right now, probably.
Oh, she called you a little worm, Ben. You gonna take that from her? Come on, Ben. You got some balls. I
Or
think.
can we get out to her? We're going to sue her into bankruptcy again, right? Sue her for every infraction, every word that I don't like, and every time my feelings are hurt. Because what you really believe in is Baal Berith. That's what your people believe in. You believe that you are contract lords and that people are not allowed to violate contracts or you will ruin them for years. You fire someone and you effectively stalk and harass them for years after. I'm here to let you know that I'm done with it.
Well, that is kind of fucked up. I mean, you fired her. That's great. Move on. Like, why are you years later still? Why the hell are you still making speeches about? Apparently, he must be upset about something. Like I said, she must not have gave him some, and that like pissed him off. Because otherwise, why would he be up on stage this many years later at a TPUSA after Charlie Kirk's death, still talking about her? He must have got butthurt.
I am done with it. This one is so fully off of the mother effing plantation. Truly, Ben Shapiro, fuck you and the midget horse that you.
Joe. Hey. Yeah. Ben Shapiro. Fuck you. Heck yeah. I don't care if you like I don't care if you like her or not. That's great. Yeah, fuck you, Ben.
wrote in on. And I say that on behalf of the world. I know you're going to get applauded by Konstantin Kisin and Andrew Christus King Clavin and all of the people, the men who have to keep applauding what you do like you're a 4-year-old to make you feel good. But the rest of the world can't stand you. You're obnoxious. You have...
I'm kind of with her on this one. I can't stand Ben either. I'm kind of with her on this one.
absolutely no values that exist outside of the Talmud. You describe yourself as a Talmudic Jew, and I've learned what's in that Talmud, and I encourage other people at home to learn what is in that Talmud so that you know what Ben thinks of you, because he doesn't just hate me, he hates you too, white men. He hates all black people, okay? If he's following the...
Oh, I don't know if I'd go that far. That might be going a little bit too far, Candace. Because if he hated all black people, why would he have hired you? That, I don't know. That might be going a little too far.
The rules of the Talmud, I mean, when I say hate, they think that we're animals, that they have a right to own us, that they have a right to make us worship them, that they have a right to lie to us, that they have a right to sue us and take everything that we have, that they have a right to deceive us, that they have a right to treat Charlie the way that he treated Charlie while he was alive, only to then try to defraud the population into thinking that he is somehow a part of his legacy, that he somehow cared about Charlie Kirk and cares to protect the people that are working at Turning Point USA. Goodbye, Ben. Goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye, Ben. Fuck you, Ben.
The question is, how much more money is Ben Shapiro going to spend to make people think that he's popular? How many more articles is his father going to write under a pen name, Hank Berrien of the Daily Wire, under the pen name Hank Berrien, as he wrote while Ben was at Breitbart, before he turned his back and betrayed them too, because that is his nature. He's one of these belly creatures, sliver on. The question is, how many more weeks and years do we have to keep pretending like Ben Shapiro is relevant? It's an open-ended question.
Honestly, I don't even know how he got famous in the first place. I really don't. Like he just I don't know, man. He just seems like a dickhead. Seems like he's above everybody.
Of course, what followed Ben Shapiro on stage is somebody who Charlie Kirk loved very much and who he fought for to the very end against the Jewish donors who were pressuring him, some of them because Ben Shapiro insisted that they do. Take a listen to what Tucker Carlson had to say when he hit the stage.
The prediction that, at some point when Republicans took power again, which I did everything I could, to help, and really felt that was important. I still think, I was right. But I really thought that the impulse to deplatform people, or even to use the word platform as a verb, which it's not, it's a noun, don't steal my nouns, deplatform and denounce. Why haven't you denounced somebody else? The whole Red Guard cultural revolution thing that we so hated and feared on the left, that we did everything we could to usher in a new time where you could have an actual debate. I mean, this kind of...
Dude, he would drive me fucking nuts. Ben Shapiro, if I was a female and I was married to him, I probably couldn't even last 6 months. Just the way he talks, and like, dude, slow the fuck down. What are you saying?
Was the whole point of Charlie Kirk's public life. And I think that he died for it. I really believe that. And I know a lot about it because the last several months of Charlie's life were devoted in part to arguing about this event, in fact, this speech, in fact, my speech here, which he asked me to do earlier this year, this summer, and was immediately put under just immense pressure from people who give money to Turning Point. I would assume good people, but who wanted him to take me off the roster. And this has all become public, and the whole thing is so sad that I never talk about it, except to say Charlie stood firm in his often stated and deeply held belief that people should be able to debate, and that if you have something valid to say, if you're telling the truth, you ought to...
Yeah, what the fuck ever happened to that? Like, when did we get to this point where, like, you have to pick sides, and if you're not on my side, you gotta go. I need to kill you. You know, it used to be you could disagree with people and still get along, but now it's like so like the lines are drawn. You know, you're not on my side, you got to be killed.
To be able to explain it calmly and in detail to people who don't agree with you, and that you shouldn't immediately resort to shut up racist.
That is Charlie Kirk's true legacy, and that is Charlie Kirk's true friend, just as I was and am and will continue to fight and ask questions about who killed Charlie Kirk.
Oh, so apparently Candace, Charlie Kirk, and Tucker seemed like they were the three amigos. I did not know that. And maybe Ben's just pissed because I don't know. I don't know what he's pissed about. He always looks like he's pissed though. Maybe he does have a 2-incher. Maybe that's the problem.
And to people that are at home, I implore you to wake up to these people who believe that they are contract lords. I challenge Black Americans to wake up to your true history, because your quarrel is not with white men, okay? Wake up to who publishes these books and keeps us warring with one another. Christians versus Christians, right? Christians versus Muslims. Wake up and learn the true history of slavery, because that wasn't exactly a white men sport, okay?
I have to applaud with that. I do. You know, they like to blame us white people for slavery. It's not really how it went down.
Jewish people were the ones that were trading us. Jewish people were in control of the slave trade. They've buried a lot of it, but it's there and you can find it. I think all of us need to wake up to this, because it's making me absolutely sick that he is so bold that he dare sit near Charlie Kirk's chair, that he dare grace that stage when Charlie Kirk knew exactly what Ben Shapiro was and will always be. So again, on your belly, Ben Shapiro. We'll be back after.
On his belly? Well, no, we don't want him on his belly. What is she going to do? Like ram a dildo up his ass? No. No, we don't want to see that.
Brief break. All right, you guys, when they double down on abortion, you know that we have to double down on.
Okay, we're going to skip the ads. When they double down on abortion, that means we got to double down on the pill, y'all.
1-800-958-1000 or visit tnusa.com/Candace for your free discovery call with Tax Network USA. Again, that's tnusa.com/Candace. If there is going to be one solitary person who has convinced me that the public is justified in looking into Erica Kirk, it is Ben Shapiro, okay? Didn't like Charlie. You're telling me he's just obsessed with defending the honor of his widow? No, he's fearful. He's fearful of something about Erica.
Oh, maybe Ben's wanting to sleep. Holy shit, wouldn't that be crazy? If we turn on the TV one day and all of a sudden Ben Shapiro and Erica Kirk are together? Wouldn't that be fucked up? I would hope she'd be smarter than that. But you never know, because with her, you know she's kind of weak at the moment after just losing Charlie. You never know. Maybe that's why he's up there at TPUSA. He's trying to like sneak in there.
Erica Kirk. He just keeps calling out Erica Kirk on stage, demanding allegiance to Erica Kirk. Who are you? Actually, who are you? Why are you in this conversation? Why were you so quick to say that you would pick up his bloody mic and carry on? And didn't you just like fire half of your force?
Like, if Ben Shapiro was to replace Charlie Kirk in TPUSA, I think TPUSA would probably go downhill. I would hope they wouldn't do that. That'd be a stupid move.
That was involved in Daily Wire Kids, only to then drop $1 million on Charlie's show. Again, weaseling your way into the chair. when you weren't invited to go on there, but Matt Walsh was, because that's what you do. You wheel and deal behind the scenes to make people think that you're liked. It's embarrassing, really, Ben. It's truly, honestly embarrassing. Why are you not embarrassed to be alive? I don't understand it.
Holy shit. Why are you not embarrassed to be alive? Boy, she ain't holding back, dude. She's going for the jugular. Why are you not embarrassed to be alive?
Anyways, so his general demeanor is starting to make me think that there's something there, right? The Fort Huachuca thing, it's definitively compelling, I would say. I am learning also that Fort Huachuca has ties to Liberty University and that you can attend classes there and achieve your degree at Liberty University, still working to verify that. But Mark Amadei, we're going to get to that congressman in a second, Amadei, has come out and really kind of not answered where he was on the morning of the 9th. And as I said, I don't know if we can rely entirely on the memory of one person who believes that he saw these individuals. But what I can say is that we verified 1,000% that he was where he said he was, that there was a meeting where he says that there was a meeting. We verified that Captain Neff was there, the one that he says was nice, but he got questioned for a very long time and they wanted to hold him for 24 hours. So everything else that people are trying to dig up about Mitch, you can just ignore. Okay, that is a distraction, right? The only way that you can help debunk anything that he has said is to say, oh, actually, I was the person that was there. It wasn't this congressman, it was me. Or I was staying at the Candlewood Inn and Suites and I saw this couple or, these two individuals in the hotel as well. And it was actually somebody else. It was my cousin. We are looking only for somebody to debunk those two aspects, okay? Because he was where he says he was, and everything else we have verified. Ignore the noise and stay focused on that note, because we did know that he was going to get attacked by a lot of trolls. And I did tell you we would put together a Give, Send, Go. You can support Mitch at givesendgo.com/Candace podcast.
Give, send, go. The fuck is that? Is that like a GoFundMe account?
I literally just hit publish on this right before we went live because I realized I hadn't done it. I need to fill out more and a little bit more about his story, but givesendgo.com/Candace podcast to support him. And like I said, I got the paperwork regarding his lawsuits, everything he said.
Mitch is a bitch. I don't know who Mitch is. I'm not about to send Mitch any money. I don't know who he is.
About being put on an NDA for 35 years. It is all real. It is all verified. Take my word on it. You don't have to send a bunch of emails and saying, well, maybe this sounds weird. How did you get onto the base? We verified it all. Okay. Now, regarding Fort Huachuca and what it is, or who he believes that he saw, we told you obviously that he thought that he saw the congressman from Vegas, Mark Amadei. And I will say, regarding the call sign in Vegas, we keep telling you that call sign at various times says Sam 702 or RCH 702. Well, that's Vegas. 702 is Vegas. Shocking just about area codes. Obviously, 702 is Vegas. So that could just be obviously a coincidence, but it becomes...
Hey, since we're spitting out area codes, 904 West Side, bitches.
Becomes compelling. Well, Mark Amadei apparently received a ton of phone calls from his constituents who wanted to know where he was. Like, where were you actually on the morning of the 9th? I want to remind you guys, the meeting was concluding at 7:30. We verified his call logs. We verified everything. The meeting was concluding around 7:30 a.m. in the morning on the 9th on Fort Huachuca, at Fort Huachuca. So it is entirely possible, and as flight routes show for...
Huachuca? Never heard of that. Fort Huachuca. I don't know. What you got? Huachuca.
Planes that did maybe perhaps were in attendance at this meeting, you can get back to DC. You just can, obviously, in that time frame.
Maybe that'll be the next virus that we have, is the Huachuca virus. Fucking Indians. Huachuca.
Well, Mark Amadei tweeted this. He tweeted, for those of you information consumers who are stuck in practices of the old days, who prefer facts to dreams and falsehoods, take comfort knowing that in public service, there is this thing called the public record. The public record on September 8th indicates that I was returning to Washington, D.C. from my district and voting on the floor of the House of Representatives. And on September 9th, in a 12-hour markup in the House Appropriations Committee, of which I am a member, as well as voting on the House floor. Should you prefer video to the words of a member of the federal legislature, please feel free to view the House Appropriations Committee's recording of said event on that date. To quote Ronald Reagan, facts are stubborn things. Merry Christmas. So it's like, whoa, serving up. I was for 12 hours locked into this meeting. And so there I am. There's my alibi. Well, very quickly, the interneted and realized that actually he missed two of the roll calls that happened in the morning, and that he was present in the evening or late afternoon. We are still working to verify that.
Yep, missed his roll call. Something's fishy already.
Replied to that feed, but I can tell you what this person posted and showed. Diligent Dennison on X wrote, exposed, Rep. Mark Amadei tries and fails to give a solid alibi for the alleged September 9th meeting with Charlie Kirk's security, Brian Harpole. The rep claims to have been traveling to D.C. from his district on September 8th, then in a committee meeting for 12 hours all day on the 9th. However, he was not present for roll call until the third meeting in mid-afternoon on the 9th in D.C. This means he could have spent the night in Arizona on September 8th, attended the morning meeting on the 9th, and caught a military.
Speaking of that, I think they wanted Charlie Kirk to be killed. At least they're in Utah. Because I watched the Sean Ryan show with Brian Harpole, which is Charlie Kirk's head of security. And he said that they were not allowed, because I always said, if they had one sniper, if they just had one dude on a rooftop, and his only job was to watch all the rooftops, Charlie would probably still be alive today. But they said that they wasn't allowed, because of the laws there. They wasn't allowed to put a guy up on the roof. But they said that the local police said that they would take care of it, and they never did. So, I don't know. Sounds like it was kind of planned to me.
Flight 3 to 4 hours away from the base to make it in time for the third roll call in D.C. I can't believe you tried to act like you were there all day. Cooked. Cooked at the end there. And they were able to demonstrate, according to record, that he did miss 2 of the roll calls. Now, there might be a reason. Again, we are looking for follow-up. And our goal here is, if he has an alibi and he was there on the floor for 12 hours, we would be obviously happy to say that. Like I said, we can.
Oh, come on, dude. You can't miss roll call. That's like kindergarten stuff. You got to be present for roll call.
Confirm every aspect of Mitch's story, but we can't confirm his memory and whether or not he is good with facial recognition. But I do find it to be compelling for a few reasons. One is that I was actually given the travel logs for Brian Harpole, and it is entirely possible that Brian Harpole could have made it for that meeting. I can tell you that.
And that's one thing that should have showed everybody, or at least showed the world. You can have all the security you want, but security cannot. You could have 5, 6 dudes around you, but security cannot keep you safe. If somebody really wants to get to you, they can get to you. If they really want to. Security is not going to help you.
Definitively, Brian Harpole could have made it to that base for that early morning meeting. There is no question. And obviously, in the interest of making sure that I'm not misrepresenting him, I have now reached out to Brian Harpole twice. I have his number because he was Charlie's security, and I went on tour with Charlie for years. Messaged him. I know that he received it according to iMessage. I messaged him again.
I didn't know she went on tour with Charlie. I didn't even know she spoke at any of his events. I didn't think they were that tight.
Him, just so we're clear, before we went live yesterday, and I messaged him again since, and I asked him, hey, look, we're only in the interest in telling the truth. If you were somewhere that morning, let us know, and we'll clarify that. You would think that he would jump at.
Oh, wait a minute. Maybe that's why Ben is so pissed off. Maybe he was trying to trying to hook up with Candace, and then Candace went with Charlie Kirk speaking at his events, and maybe he thought that she was cheating on him, and that's why she got fired. Maybe. You never know.
That opportunity, because why would you want to have people even thinking or surmising that you could have been at this meeting when you can easily
Because that would make more sense, because when, like, him and Charlie Kirk were good, but then when Candace Owens got fired, if she started speaking at Charlie Kirk's events, I know Ben Shapiro then started talking badly about Charlie Kirk. Huh. Yep, sounds like he's just pissed because he couldn't get Candace on all fours. That's what it sounds like to me.
debunk it. We got crickets from him. Again, it could turn out that it was a Brian Harpole lookalike. It is totally plausible that he just mistook someone's identity, and I am totally open to that and just looking for more information. There was one person who we are vetting who believes that they have evidence that the people that Mitch saw were in fact on that base on that date. We will keep you guys obviously posted on that. Now, something else interesting happened. I have been sending, just so you know, when I send Mitch stuff that's happening and I'm trying to guess who was there or who wasn't there, I don't give him the context when I send him pictures. So when he first described the congressman, described the person's height and their, glasses, this or that, I had sent a few congressmen. He was like, no. And then we landed upon the Las Vegas congressman. We did not give him the name. I didn't know his name, to be honest with you. And he went, that's the guy. So it was interesting. And of course, this was before we discovered the plane.
Wait a minute. Why is she pointing a gun at me? She just pointed a gun at me. She just threatened me on screen.
And the route to Las Vegas. So that was compelling. Yesterday, and genuinely because I was sitting down having a discussion at dinner with Johnny Yep, who runs Catholic for Catholics, and we were sort of discussing everything. And I get this text message from Skylar being like, Ben Shapiro is like on stage, just like calling you out again. I said to myself, what is his investment in this? Why do I feel like he's somewhere along the
You would think that they were married or something, or they had a long-term relationship. Like, I kind of have to agree with her on that. I'm like, why would he be talking about her this far out? Like, we're talking years that she's been away from that organization. Why would he? That's why I said, man, he must have had a crush on her or something. I don't know. Because he seems like he's got a vendetta.
way implicated in something? Let me clarify. I'm not saying he murdered Charlie Kirk, but it doesn't matter if I said that either way. That's his whole style is to try to sue people out of the free markets because he can't win in the free markets. But yeah, I'm going.
Oh, Ben, she said you can't win in a free market. So you got to sue him. Man, she's just talking all kinds of shit.
What is this? Why do I feel like there's a hook here? And at that time, someone had mentioned to me, hey, did you see what's going viral right now on X, which is that Erica Kirk lied about having not dated anybody before Charlie Kirk. And actually, I knew.
Okay, come on. You really think that I think Erica Kirk is close to 40? You honestly believe she didn't date anybody before Charlie? Really? Come on. That didn't happen.
That she had dated somebody before Charlie Kirk, and I had never known that she had made that claim, and people were starting to make all of these videos about it and wondering if she had misremembered or whether or not she was telling an intentional lie about her past. Now, what I can say is that there does seem to be disparity between her version of events and other people's version of events. Definitively at that meeting, obviously, I've already intimated that to you. Like Andrew Colvett has a memory, Erica Kirk has a memory, and then the surgeon has a memory, right? I should also mention that the surgeon said, and again, this is through a third-party person, so it's on direct line between me and the surgeon, that he absolutely did not violate HIPAA. when he suggested, hey, maybe it's a frangible bullet, but rather that it was a three-way call with him and Andrew and Erica. I don't know if he's telling the truth or if Erica's telling the truth and Andrew Colvett was flying blind. But, there's a disparity.
Have you seen this bullshit too, where they've had like Erica Kirk and they say that she's been putting drops in her eyes to make her cry when she goes on stage? Have y'all seen this bullshit? That's fucking crazy, dude. I don't think she's doing that, but it would be crazy if she is, but I highly doubt it.
And as I was looking at this, I sort of went, oh, wait, yeah, I do remember that Charlie told me about Cabot Phillips dating a girl. For some reason, I thought it was Sammy, the other girl that he had a crush on. And I was like, was it Erica? That's so funny. I'm trying to remember this. And then I saw a picture in somebody's TikTok of Cabot Phillips. I hadn't seen him in a very long time, and he works for the Daily Wire. And he had a beard. And that was the thing that he kept saying to me, as this guy had a beard. He's around 37. Anyways, I sent him the picture of Cabot Phillips, and he says, yes, that's the person I remember
Oh, I thought she was talking about Nagy Beard.
being at the base. Now I'm like, that would be totally crazy. Maybe, again, this could be a lookalike. And so I messaged Cabot Phillips and did not get a response. I messaged Cabot Phillips twice today, actually, and asked him if he wanted to have an off-record conversation, because we can't just like take that to the bank. Like I said, I am terrible with faces. So if I saw Cabot Phillips, I had to just from memory, there's like 30,000 other people I would say it was definitely him too. And I can't trust Mitch's vision on this, but it at least is compelling. And I was like, let me do some basic fact checks here. What do I even know about this guy, Cabot Phillips?
Right.
And I know that he does the Morning Wire at the Daily Wire. And I checked, and he's missing from the Morning Wire. He doesn't do it daily, but he does it enough times that I noticed that he is missing from September 4th to the September 10th on that show. And so,
like, how is the Daily Wire even a thing still anymore anyways? Like, I don't know anybody that watches the Daily Wire, honestly.
I am looking to see to just debunk or like remove him from the picture, that and maybe to get a clearer understanding that maybe, Mitch thinks he remembers things. I mean, he's super detail oriented, like telling me what kind of watch the person was wearing, because he was like, I was going to go up to him and I was going to say something. But I'm going, I don't know anything about actually Cabot Phillips. And it was very difficult to find any information outside of his father, who I found a lot of information about. Actually, he's a pretty big guy, taking a lot of money from the Adelsons, and he's definitely a neocon. I'll tell you that for free. So I thought, could this be the reason that
Where do we keep coming up with all these freaking acronyms? Neocons, neo-Nazi. Where's all this shit coming from?
in my back of my mind, could this be the reason that Ben's having some sort of a weird spiral? Does he know something? Or is this just a case, and it could be, just be very clear, it could be a full case of Mitch misremembering, but I didn't give him the context. I didn't say this is Erica's ex-boyfriend from 2017. And I just found that to be interesting. And yeah, so I don't know what the reason would be to say that you didn't date someone. You did. And I don't understand it. I genuinely don't understand that at all. And the internet did pull this up, which I think we can show that. Yes, we're that couple who gets painting lessons together.
See, I told you she dated somebody. There's no way she went to 40 and didn't date anybody. I'm sorry. I don't know a single female that has made it to 40 and not dated anybody. I'm sorry. Are they out there? Maybe, but they'd be far few in between. So to say that she didn't date anybody before Charlie, that's just crazy.
There's a lot of social media activity between her and his family. I was also really compelled by how close she is with her cousin, this Nicole Rothstein, who defends her in the comments currently, by the way, and says, Erica, people were asking why it seems like now there's this bend towards Israel. And Nicole Rothstein was like, I'm her cousin. She's half Jewish. I did not genuinely, I did know that she was part Jewish. I don't know about any of this at all, but it is interesting that they had a relationship, and I don't know why that's being wiped from the memory. There's nothing wrong with having a relationship before you find love of your life at all. And so I'm hopeful that we can get some answers. And that's why I asked them publicly. When I can't get answers privately, I ask them publicly. Do you want to know why? Because I have a right to ask questions. And like I said, I don't like the way.
Yeah, I mean, she's got a right to ask questions. You might not like the question she's asking, but yeah.
Ben is signaling that he doesn't want people looking into Erica. Okay. And when people start looking in, they then
Oh, why would Ben not want people looking into Erica? Is he gonna Ben's married, right? What's he gonna do? Divorce his wife and go for Erica? Now that Charlie's out of the picture?
find that a Daily Wire employee dated her. So that seems interesting, to say the very least. And we should figure out, what's actually going on. Like, what is actually going on? He even says the Mossad. I never once said the Mossad killed Charlie Kirk. So was that by accident? Definitely starting to think in a major way that it.
Well, in case y'all didn't know, it was actually a bullet that killed Charlie Kirk. And I don't think the dude that killed him was even looked like a Mossad. So now I think there is a little controversy though. They keep pinning it on this kid. I don't think that kid. Sure, the kid may have pulled the trigger, but there's got to be more to it than that, man. There's something they're not telling us, especially once after his assassination. The next day, the school went and repaved over where his tent was. They put new concrete down, asphalt. Why'd they do that? So I don't know. I think the kid, he pulled the trigger for sure, but I think there's a lot more to it than just the kid. Because why would you go through all that trouble to try to not get caught and then go leave your rifle in the middle of the woods and not even bury it? Like, not even try to bury it, just throw it in the woods with a towel over it. Like, that's gonna hide it.
Israel's got something to do with killing Charlie Kirk and the Egyptian planes, which we are putting the final touches on because I don't want there to be even one typo or mistake on this that we're going to put up on our website. It leads you to Israel. It just does, okay? There's no question. That's why they were panicking about the Egyptian planes. Fort Huachuca is involved in lawsuits and sworn affidavits regarding 9/11, people who asserted that the prepping for that took place. The vibes are vibing here at Fort Huachuca. The more of it I learned about Fort Huachuca, and that's why we open you guys to this investigation to send us tips. And I would like to focus you on what we would like to learn. If you have concrete evidence of what occurred at Fort Huachuca on the early morning of the 9th, we want to hear from you. We do not want an email about what Mitch did in 1993 and why you don't think he's a good person because he had a divorce with his wife. We just don't need that. We do not want an email saying, I'm in the military. It would be unusual for them to allow him.
Okay, well, Candace, I hate to break it to you, but if you're going to be on social media or in the public, you're going to get weird emails. Sorry, it's just part of it, man. You're going to get weird emails. You're going to get death threats. It's part of the game.
To book the hotel. We've already confirmed all of it. He has a literal video of him that's 18 minutes long asking for directions to get to where he's going. We can see in the background where he is. We don't want you to waste your time on that. We have verified everything we could verify about the story. We cannot verify the people. And I just sense that there's something there because Ben is coming undone, and he only comes undone about one topic, and that is Israel. So we will take a break.
Is Ben Shapiro in the bed with Israel? Is he getting money from Israel?
And I will answer some of your questions. All right, you guys, you should know that as a consumer, you actually carry this.
Okay, we don't need to hear your ads, lady.
Feminism and who brought the plague to break down families to America. And you can really trace that right back to the same people who assassinated the Tsar, people who believe.
Yo, what the fuck? She's got a book out. She's holding a sign. Make him a sandwich. What?
That they have a right to murder people to take what they want. That is the guiding principle and philosophy of some religions, certainly not the Christian one. Anyways, makehimasandwich.com if you'd like to buy direct from us, and you can purchase signed copies, which I'll be signing a lot more directly on CandaceOwens.com. Good time to mention to you guys that
Candace is going wild, man. She's going in on Ben. She made a book, make him a sandwich. Oh my gosh, dude.
I had a very crazy week, and
I think is she just trolling at this point?
I'm so sorry that we had to bump book club again. There will not be a book club tonight, and I will be sure to reset one. We just need to figure out with Mark's travel schedule. Mark, Princess. You know what, Mark? I have a question. Where are you going, actually? Where do you think you're going?
I'm going to Fort Huachuca.
Oh. To get your intelligence training. Okay, I got it. Okay. Well, we also have new merch on the website, by the way, and that is also makes a good Christmas gift. We have fun merch, and we have new merch that's going to be dropping. It's a way that you can support the show, and I also want to.
You know what I would like to get? I wish somebody would make a shirt that had like the pride flag on one side, and then had like a gun pointed towards the pride flag, and then at the bottom it says "fuck your pride." If somebody make that shirt, I'll buy it.
Encourage you guys to support Mitch because he has people picking apart his entire life. One person was like, he was diagnosed with PTSD. Oh, shocking. Like, do you know how many of our veterans are diagnosed with PTSD because of what they lived through in the military? Like, what kind of a monster are you to even pull that up? It just makes me sick. You can support Mitch, and I will be doing that too. You'll see that I haven't donated yet because I literally hit publish on that.
Like, just about every military person that has seen combat comes back with PTSD. I mean, there's just no way that they don't. If they've seen combat. If they haven't seen combat, then no.
Right before we went live, but you can support Mitch at givesendgo.com/Candace podcast. And yeah, it feels good to be doing stuff from the people to the people, not relying on these traditional modes of really slavery, people that are artificially created in the market and are protected. And what do? They always want people to be removed from the market because they can't compete. If the rules are fair, they would be nowhere. That's the Barry Weisses and Ben Shapiros of the world. They would be absolutely nowhere. I mean, imagine having your dad babysit you and like write mean comments to people on the internet and you're like 45 years old. Like, what even are we talking about? Okay,
Right.
Top comment from last episode. Stephanie writes, why would this man willingly bring hell on himself if he was not telling the truth? I know. I was not. And there's so much more about his story. Like when you start reading what they put him through, it's unbelievable. And again, I think that's why so many veterans who have honestly been through these scenarios with the military just wrote so many beautiful emails. I wish I could share them all with him. Many people, by the way, who completely verified what he said about Fort Huachuca. One person who even said, oh, that year I was actually JTF, and he's absolutely telling the truth because of the horses. That part he talks about like the horseback riders, and they told me who the general was that insisted that they all learn to ride horses. So he is very much being supported, and we can do this stuff without support from the mainstream media. Let them keep calling us crazy. I'm okay with that. We would only be crazy if we believed anything that they were saying at this point.
Right.
Unaffected COVID writes, go Max, Candace, go Max. Thank you for that donation. Chance Callahan writes, as a gay Tennessean and OG Candace stan, I have always appreciated your authenticity and intellectual honesty. I used to have to defend my support of you, but that is no longer. The people are waking up and recognizing who and what is fake and gay. Stay safe and thank you. Yeah, even the way when he
what is fake and gay?
Tries to like diss me on stage and he's like, retarded. The way he says retarded is like, he's so
You're
effortlessly
retarded.
uncool. That's what I want to say about Ben. He's just like
Fucking retarded.
effortlessly uncool. So cringe. 8 Birds writes, all I want for Christmas is justice for Charlie. Here's a Christmas present for you, Candace. Thank you. I am so grateful for you and I pray for you constantly. Keep it up. God is using you in a big way. Thank you. And I feel that way. I feel like all of this is us just breaking the shackles. Like there are just been mental shackles that have been put on us, telling us we have to stay in line, that we have to accept this, that we have to believe in this arbitrary authority.
And you don't have freedom of speech either. You only have speech. You only have freedom of speech as long as you're saying what they want to hear. Period. That's it. As long as you're saying what they want to hear, you're fine. But as soon as you say something they don't want to hear, they're going to try to shut you up.
And everyone around the world is waking up to it. Like we are just waking up to how absolutely duped we have become as a society, believing that this system is fair when it's so clearly rigged in our faces. And yeah, I just
Oh,
hope
yeah,
that
it's
people
rigged,
feel inspired
100%.
to similarly go max and stand up against it. And I don't even care about these lawsuits anymore. I mean, Ben's going to get me a legal letter so fast. I don't care, man. This is your whole, the Pharisees, people who write the laws, and we got the judges and blah, 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 and we'll put you in a private court and sue you for liking
Yeah, fuck
tweets.
him.
Like you heard him on stage. Like I was like literally sued for liking tweets. You know how petty you have to be to even look at somebody's likes? What are you doing? Like, what are you doing? And then publicly trying to pretend like you care about free speech while you privately sue people who are just trying to leave your company after they're fired. You fired me. Like let me go. Like, please let me go.
Yeah, he fired her. Like, this has been years now. Like, why is he still? Like I said, there had to be more there than we know. Because why would he still be trying to bring? I wouldn't even be bringing her name up anywhere, whether I was doing a speech on my show, whatever. So there's got to be something going on there.
Oh, stop telling people you're chosen. You are not chosen to do shit except within the synagogue.
Yo, hey, I'm starting to like Candace already. You're not chosen to do shit, bitch. Damn. Tell him about it.
Of Satan, clearly, because everything you do is the manufacturing of lies, bullying, getting people to write articles, smearing, libeling. Yeah, it's pretty explicit what kind of people engage in that sort of stuff. So, anyways, let me stop telling you guys how I really feel. Let me stop telling you guys how I really feel.
No, don't stop. Tell us how you really feel. We want to hear it.
AU Basri writes, damn, let her cook. Nam
Yeah,
writes,
for
I
real.
might not be rich, but this is for the joy you gave me for calling out Mini Benny out for his Napoleon complex. I haven't had a laugh that good in a while. Thank you, go Max, stay Max. Guys, this isn't even the tip of the iceberg in terms of what that man has put me through because I survived. Like literally, it's like that's why I say it's a slave owner mentality. It's very obvious that that's what it is. Why are you hosting 300 people to fire someone? What is that? Here's what she did wrong. Here's what she did wrong. And I'm just like the one who doesn't even flinch.
Yeah, I mean, why would you have to have a public gathering or like a public company gathering of somebody getting fired and then still be bringing their name up 2, 3, 4 years later? Something fucked up about that.
Because literally F you. Yeah, literally F you. I don't
Yeah, fuck
care.
you, Ben.
Stop. Kanye was right. He was totally right. That's why he burned down his life and said, I'd rather rebuild it than let you own 1 ounce of it. And when you do rebuild it and they don't own it, well, then you get into a scary territory, right? You get into a scary territory because what they are willing to
Yeah, I'm not really on board with the Kanye thing. But the Ben Shapiro thing, I'm with her on this.
do to take when they can't earn it, it's very scary. History tells us and shows us. A KXH writes, they're angry that Candace is intelligent, eloquent, beautiful, and stays beating them at every turn. I am so glad that you spoke up about the racial element of this. You're a role model to us Black women everywhere. Candace, go Max. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about the race card, though. I don't like when they pull the race card. I don't know about that. That might be going a little bit too far.
Guys, Black people just got to learn your history, man. You got to learn the minstrel shows, who's behind the minstrel shows, and the truth behind the Jim Crow laws, and who even when you learn about the Klansmen, I mean the things that happened, and all they had to do was control our textbooks and keep us all fighting each other. And you're out here talking about what the white man has done. Who do you think tried to genocide the white man in Europe? Right? Yeah, take a look at that. I keep telling you, watch that PBS documentary that they came after me hardcore.
Hey, at least she's speaking facts on that. A lot of people don't know the true history of slavery and all that bullshit. They only hear what they're taught in school or they hear on TV. They don't really know the true story behind it.
For speaking about what the savage piece? Yeah, those are your ancestors, guys. Yeah. You are European, like white Europeans. These are your ancestors. And with propaganda, they basically mow the lawn. They get you as white men to sign up and agree to murder white men on the other side of the world. It's white men murdering white men, and for different reasons being propagandized. Wake up. Like, we all need to wake up. And
Yeah, wake up, bitches. Wake up.
Lock arms against sheer evil. And the military-industrial complex is sheer evil. And the psychological games they are playing with people, they're playing on people is sheer evil. What Charlie was going through in the end, because of Jewish donors threatening him, I'm going to take everything. If you even let Tucker speak over speech, is sheer evil. It's despicable. Somebody should apologize.
You know, and Charlie had said something about that. I don't know who he texted, but he texted somebody like a couple months before he was killed that he was afraid they were going to try to kill him. Talking about that.
For it. Instead, they go, we'll buy our way, and Benny will sit near Charlie's chair, and we'll pretend he was his friend. We can just buy everything. We'll buy your compliance. No, actually, our answer to that is no. Christy writes, and that midget horse she rode in on, LOL, I love you, Candace. And I mean it, like really, I mean that. And I know I probably am most definitely going to have to confess, but I have taken the high road enough and I'm sick of the lawfare. Stop showing up to my house because you do things to me. Imagine doing something to someone and then...
They're even showing up to her house this far, 2-3 years later.
Demanding they apologize for it. It's totally crazy. And I was... I extended every courtesy, you guys. I extended every courtesy. My husband really said, let's do the Christian thing. But I realized you can't really do the Christian thing with people that hate Christ.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way. You know, some people only understand violence. That's why I say you got to have a little bit of gangster in you, because some people only understand violence. Period.
It doesn't work. The Christian thing doesn't work with people who hate Christ. So if you're a good Talmudic Jew, as he always says, he's a Talmudic Jew, you will understand once you get what's in that Talmud, exactly what he means and exactly what he thinks about you. It's important that you understand that. 7 Sheets writes, what a year. You deserve a break, but we'll be waiting. You deserve Journalist of the Year for just not being by fake and gay. God bless and be safe. Thank you guys so much. Curbster writes, our new motto in Candace's 2028 presidential campaign slogan should be, today is another great day to go Max. It would just be go Max. I would never run for president. I hate everybody that's in DC. I hate their values. I think they are despicable.
I'm the same way. I couldn't be a governor or a president. I couldn't be in Washington, D.C., man, because you got to lie to get there. You have to be a liar, and you got to be a liar while you're there.
And how they have acted since Charlie has been assassinated. I hate that they are embarking on this psychological campaign to try to make us believe that what happened that day was normal. It has made me lose faith in politics. It has not made me lose faith in the Lord. And in many ways, I see everything that Charlie wanted. I understand that he knew he was going to die. And I understand that it has to be me that defends him and exposes this entire matrix to the world. So anyways, you guys, I think I've said enough today. So we'll see.